Andrea Goldsmith. I'm Dean of Engineering and Applied Science at Princeton University. That's my day job, and I have a few other hats where I serve on the board of directors for 3 public companies, Intel, Medtronic, and Crown Castle. And I'm actually deeply engaged in the IEEE. I chair the IEEE Board of Directors Committee on Diversity and Inclusion, and I'm a proud member of 2 IEEE societies, the Communication Society and the Information Theory Society. I've been doing research in wireless communication since the mid-'80s when I got my undergraduate degree. So I followed every G of cellular development as well as Wi-Fi. And my research is really on the fundamental performance limits of what's possible with wireless communication, what technologies we can develop to achieve those fundamental performance limits, and then how we co-design the wireless network with the applications that they're running over. I ended up being very lucky to work in a small defense communications startup where I fell in love with wireless communication and decided I didn't know enough to solve the problems that I wanted to work on. This was the very beginning of the development of cellular. So I went back for just a master's degree, ended up falling in love with research and staying to get a PhD. I worked at AT&T Bell Laboratories as a graduate student. And then when I was finishing my PhD, I looked at industry jobs, research labs, academia, decided I would try academia. And that really is where my heart has been for the last several decades. Being a professor is a great job. We get to work with young people. We get to work on exciting research. ComSoc, as well as the Information Theory Society, have been my professional homes since I started graduate school. And ComSoc in particular, I credit with a lot of my early work in wireless communication, because what happened is I was a graduate student. It was the fall of 1991. I was wrapping up my master's degree and thinking about what I was going to do next, whether it was to stay for a PhD or go work. So I met an incredibly powerful mentor, Larry Greenstein, who was deeply involved in ComSoc. And that was transformational. A lot of the early work that I did in wireless communication was because of that summer job, which I got through ComSoc. And the other wonderful thing about Larry, who was an incredible mentor, is he introduced me to so many people in ComSoc. He got me involved. I started attending the radio, communication, technical committee meetings. Follow your passion, do what you love. I have many young people that say, well, you know, should I study this, or should I get a PhD in that, or should I even get a PhD? But following your passion will almost always guide you in the right direction. And I think it's really important for young people to figure out what they love and then get the right level of support and mentorship and cheerleading of people that will help you at each stage of your career. Mentoring is incredibly important. You don't have it all figured out as a young person. What career path should you travel when you face difficulties? How do you overcome them? What should you take on, particularly as an academic? What should you say yes to? What should you say no to? How do you develop professionally? And while one can figure that out alone, it's so much more helpful and fun to have a mentor who you can go to when you have questions, when you face challenges. I've been really fortunate to have Larry Greenstein was a mentor very early in my career, as was my advisor, Praveen Varaya, who mentored me tremendously with respect to my development as a researcher and as a technologist. Having trusted people that you can go to is really important, and it's also incredibly rewarding. When I look at all the awards and honors that I've received professionally, one of the most meaningful is a mentoring award. ComSoc is where I connect because it's my professional home. It's been my professional home from the beginning of my academic career. It's influenced so many of the things that I've done and that I currently do and that I anticipate doing in the future. It's given me a platform to push diversity and inclusion in the profession. And it's where I've connected with so many of my treasured colleagues and friends for decades.